Macro photography is one of those things that just lends itself to photographing plants, but there's an area of plants that just gets overlooked, both literally and figuratively, and that is the roots. So in today's macro tutorial, we're uprooting some plants and we're going to take a look at the underside of all of those beautiful flowers that everyone loves to photograph in macro. Stick around and we'll get started in just a sec. Hi guys, I'm Ben from Adaptalux and welcome back to another macro photography tutorial. If you watch the channel regularly and you know us, you know me, I like to set some challenging shoots every now and again, something that's not very commonly photographed but might make for an interesting shoot. Today that's exactly what we're doing. We're shooting possibly the least beautiful, least common and least interesting part of the flower, the roots. So then guys, I've uprooted a couple of plants from the garden just to bring them inside. It's a little bit tricky to get them out of the ground without snapping all of those roots, but I think we've got enough to take a look at here. You can see that they're a little bit dry because it has been really dry out here this summer, but I don't think that will stop us getting some interesting photos. Now, one thing to note is that although I have tried to get rid of much of the soil from these roots, it has carried a lot of soil inside and it's slowly but surely spreading around my table. So do make sure that you've got somewhere that doesn't mind getting it a little bit messy. My photography table is already pretty destroyed from various shoots over the years, so it's going to be absolutely fine. But if you're doing this on a coffee table or somewhere else in your house, you might just want to be ready for a little bit of tidying up. Now, I'm not sure what kind of plants these were. I know that these ones are flowers and they do flower in the summer, but like I say, they've been very dry, so there's no signs of life on there. If you can tell what kind of flowers these ones were, then do let me know down in the comments. I'll have to ask my wife what kind of potted plant I've uprooted in order to do this. So for now, I'm actually going to be mounting these in our macro subject holder, which you can see just here. I'm going to use these crocodile clip clamps to attach the flowers in here, and then we can get a nice composition of our roots without any kind of background. So I've clamped some of my roots into my macro subject holder here. It's holding them nicely in place, ready for me to shoot. I've placed my camera here on a tripod and we've got our very first shot, which is actually upside down, bearing in mind that the roots we're looking at here should be the other way up. They're supposed to be the part that's underground, and obviously the green stuff goes above ground. So we're actually looking at this upside down, but for ease of photographing, I think I'm going to maybe flip this in post-processing instead of trying to hold my camera upside down, or perhaps turning them upside down like this subverts expectations and maybe makes it a little bit more interesting as an abstract photo. Now, we've not got any lighting involved yet. This is just the ambient light in my room, and you can see that we've got a little bit of blue color here in this shot, and that is actually coming from that blue box off in the distance. It's one of our Adaptalux boxes, and you can see that I've got some lighting arms and filters stored over there, but just by chance that box has ended up in the background of my shot, and I actually really like that little highlight of color back there. So I'm going to maybe play on that a little bit, adding some color in using both our lighting and maybe some backgrounds as well. For now, I'm going to take this shot and perhaps focus stack it as well to see whether I like focus stacked or non-focus stacked roots. It's obviously not a very common subject. I don't really know what we're going to come out with today. I don't know whether it's going to be better focus stacked or not focus stacked. So let's find out together. I think for a shoot like this, focus stacking is entirely optional. It might just be a fun little shoot that you want to try out and you don't want to go to the extent of perfectly focus stacking images of roots. I think that's completely valid and absolutely fair. I would recommend trying one or two, especially if you have the option to upload your images to the computer mid-shoot. Then you can see whether you like that type of shot, and if not, then you can just not bother focus stacking the rest. Obviously, if you don't have access to a computer while you're shooting, then you're going to have to try and envision what they might look like and go with your gut. The soft depth of field still looks really nice, and I think it gives it a little bit of mystery as to what we're looking at. It could be some sort of alien forest with that colour in the background, and the nice soft depth of field dropping off into the back just adds a little bit more mystique. However, the focus stacked image does offer a lot more detail and sharpness, so if that's what you're looking for in your photos, then I'd recommend giving a little bit of focus stacking a go. I would say that for something like roots with lots of interlocked and interlacing elements in the image, the focus stacking software doesn't always do a perfect job, so do make sure that you're ready for a few failures if you're going to try stacking lots of images of something this complex. So my next step is to add a little bit of extra light. Previously we were using just the ambient light in the room and the photo was okay, but I think we can make this look a lot more interesting and dramatic using some lighting. So you can see here that I've got the Adaptalux control pod on a mini tripod right next to my roots, and it's reaching up here with a single white lighting arm with a diffuser on the end. It's right in there amongst the roots, because that is one of the advantages of such a small light source. You can get it really close into the action and be able to get light really close, and that is giving us a nice dramatic shot of our roots. We're now getting lighting that is a lot more dramatic and a lot less sort of, well, generic from the light just bouncing around inside my room. You'll also notice that I've taken that color in the background to the next level. I've added some of our background gradient cards into the mix. So these background gradient cards, we have a whole folder full of them with all different colors on them. I've placed a couple just in one of the spare clamps to the macro subject holder, and then I have a separate white lighting arm pointing down at the colors of the background. And just by moving the colors of the background around, we can change the look of our shot. So right now in the background we have blue with just a little bit of the orange. However, if I move that orange into the shot a little bit more, you can see the photo change. We're getting more of the orange, less of the blue, and that is just from moving the background card around in that clamp. So I actually really like it there with, well, it's only a slight adjustment. You can see that we've really not moved it that much, but because of the gradients on the background cards, we've actually made quite a lot of difference to our shot. We've now got a lot more orange and just a little bit of blue. So I had a lot of fun with that blue background, changing the compositions, moving things around, but now it's time to change things completely. These little roots over here, they were really nice, but they were very small and dainty. We've changed to our larger plant, which has much thicker, much heftier roots, and I think that is an interesting change. Next, we actually have changed our background card to a completely orange one. Before we had this sort of orange and blue and green background card that had a nice gradient between those two colors. For this one, I just wanted orange, so I've changed that one out, and I've added an amber lighting arm down here, which is shining through the back of the roots. That is creating a really interesting effect. I've actually deliberately left the lighting arm in the shot there, so it's creating this big sunny halo effect with the light source actually in the image. I think that makes it look like trees against a sunset or some sort of alien planet as the sun is going down. It's all backlit, it's got some really nice bokeh, and it's creating a really interesting effect with all of that light bouncing off the various roots as it travels through. I think this is a good example of a shot that really benefits from a shallow depth of field. If I was to focus stack this one, I don't think it would have the same kind of dramatic effect. My lighting otherwise is pretty much the same, so I still have one white light lighting up the background there to give us a nice bright orange background, but then also my white lighting arm is still diffused here to give my roots a little bit of light from the front as well. The dominant light is of course that amber that is brightly lighting the back there, completely undiffused, giving us that really harsh coloured light. This is just an example of the kinds of things that you can do with colour to make a subject like this, which is relatively boring, I suppose, to the naked eye, a lot more interesting. Adding coloured backgrounds, adding coloured light, and changing your compositions to get some interesting effects is all possible with a lighting system like this and some coloured backgrounds, and of course a nice way to hold all of it in place. There's a lot of opportunities for experimentation with a setup like this, so I'm going to take advantage of those opportunities and see what I can do with my coloured lights and coloured backgrounds. Once again, I've changed a few things around, this time just colours, because I want to demonstrate how colour completely changes the mood of your image. So we've changed that background to a sort of purplish, bluish into orange background card there, and I've also changed the amber arm to a blue one, and the difference is quite stark. That blue moody light that is coming through is very, very cool, cold looking. It looks like a sort of moody graveyard that you might find on Halloween, dead trees being lit by blue, spooky, ethereal light. It's a lot different to our orange sunset, which looked quite happy and warm. So just changing that colour of the light and colour of the background, we've changed the mood of our image. And I think these roots actually really lend themselves to creepy, Halloweeny kind of feel. So as we start to approach Halloween, maybe this is a shoot that you can do at home and try and make some creepy tree looking photos using the roots from your plants. It's an interesting way to approach making some macro photos that are themed to the season perhaps. I think this is a really unique and interesting way to approach photographing plants. You need to think outside of the box. Flowers are all well and good and they're nice and pretty and make for some nice, easy macro photography, but changing your perspective quite literally and turning the plant upside down, photographing the roots and all of that stuff that you don't usually see is what I think macro photography is all about. Seeing those things that are usually unseen, and there's nothing more unseen than the parts of the plant that usually live underground. Now they're not the most visually interesting things, but with all of that crisscrossing, interesting, interlocking mess of roots and vines that all go together, it creates quite interesting opportunities for lighting and for composition. On their own, a single root, it's not that great, but lots and lots of roots all together with a little bit of lighting and a coloured background, well, they create some really interesting abstract shots. Let me know if you'd approach this in a different way. Let me know if you learned something by hitting the like button down below, and hit subscribe for lots more macro photography tutorials, ideas and inspiration coming in the future. For now, that's all I've got time for. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time.